All right, so welcome. Ooh, there's an error. Can you guys hear me? Piper, Pico, can you hear me in Discord? Just got an error. Hopefully you can. One second, just checking the mic. Yeah, should be. I can hear it in on YouTube. Yeah, and it's also on Discord. Welcome, welcome everyone. It's Friday evening. It's another night of a night of events, and tonight we also have something pretty special, and I'm quite excited for it. We have a special concept. I've done something similar before, but not exactly like this. And now with this dual tournament system that I've been using lately, it's even more interesting. I started the stream a little bit earlier just to make sure that I just get everything out of the way when it comes to the rule set, when it comes to how things are gonna go, even doing the shuffle right before the tournament. So at 8 p.m. local time here in Bucharest. I don't know what time is in different places, but it's going to be 8 p.m. here. We're going to start the tournament, and hopefully players are going to be ready because it's going to be very important to do so since we have so many people competing. We have 13 people competing in the first tournament and 12 people competing in the second tournament. Um, I wanna I wanna say this from the get-go. This might get a little bit longer than expected, but at the same time, if we're all ready to fight at the right time, and we don't have any delays in that regard, we should be able to pull this off in the dedicated time. So my plan is to wrap each tournament in about 2 hours, 2 hours and 15, something like that. And then we have the grand final, which the first sword title fight. That shouldn't take too long, obviously. Yeah. So as I said, we have 13 people competing in the first tournament, 12 in the second. Might be 12 in the first. I don't know about Tao. He said that he had some health issues. Hopefully he's fine and he's ready to compete. But I'm just going to share my screen with you guys here and show you the characters that people selected and talk a little bit about the format. So the format of today is based on fighting against the odds and using strategy and using the best characters using the best characters that you have, and also a little bit of strategy because you need to pick two characters for one tournament and two characters for the other tournament, and you can't pick the same characters as you can see here on the screen, so you have to select different ones. And it was really nice to see the evolution of how people treated these signups. I see some people going all in with their best characters in one tournament. I see people dividing their forces, like their best two characters are split between the tournaments. There's also, I don't know if anybody else had the same strategy that I have, but my strategy going in here, I'm also going for the weapon points. So I wanted to do like a saber duo in the first tournament and a longsword duo in the second one. Honestly, I wasn't very keen on picking Zera because I haven't used him in a long time, but since I need the longsword points, I need the Zera in the lower bracket if I lose a fight. So quickly how this works. These two tournaments are best of one double elimination, and you are allowed to use one of the two characters that you selected, but if you lose, then when you go to the lower bracket, you can use only the other character that you have. But if you climb back up and manage to defeat the winner's bracket winner in the final, then for the second final only, you're going to get the ability to use your character back, the one that you lost, and the finalist, I mean the person who you just defeated, can't obviously use two of his characters. So even when you're coming back from the lower bracket, you're still going to have a tiny, let's say a tiny handicap going into the first final. But if you win, then the tides are obviously turned. Same thing happens in the second tournament, so it's exactly the same format. But there's another twist. If you win the first tournament, you are allowed in the second tournament to use one of the characters that you had in tournament 1. So you're going to have access to 3 characters. Obviously, you're not going to have 3 lives, so if you lose twice, you're still eliminated from the tournament, but you have 3 characters that you can use. Why did I go with this particular rule? Well, first of all, to incentivize people to join both tournaments, but also because maybe some people really like playing with one character, and I didn't want to limit them completely from using that particular character. Of course, it's a tough mission, but it is possible. Like if you win the tournament, you could still use your favorite character in the second event. After these 2 events are over, we're going into the first sword final, which will also have a little bit of a special format. By the way, the first sword title is for major tournaments. These are custom tournaments, so they're minor tournaments basically in the rankings. But since I am the first sword, I'm putting it on the line. Yeah, so normally it wouldn't be, but I want to put it on the line to make it more interesting. The first sword final is going to be pretty interesting because it's not going to be just like a best of 1 or a best of 2 or something like that. You will have 1 character or 2 characters or 3 characters depending on what's going to happen, and you'd have to eliminate all the other characters from your opponent. So for example, okay, let's take the most likely scenario, which is having 2 different winners. Winner 1 is going to have 3 characters that he can use. Winner 2 will have 3 characters that they can use, and they need to fight until all the characters are eliminated. So technically you could lose the first 2 fights, but then you have 1 character left that could save you. Yeah, so your main could still save the day. But that's something that we're going to talk about later. You don't need to worry about that right now. I just wanted to you know, I know that I put a lot of details before the video and also in the Discord. You don't have to read everything or digest everything. I'm just putting it out there in case somebody is curious about how something like that works. So we're 5 minutes away from starting the first event, and as I said, I'm very excited. I think it's gonna be really interesting because we have so many players. It's only 6 flags best of 1, so anything can happen. And also everybody's going to use maybe some characters that are not that familiar with, and the combination of characters and the combination of the players that are going to face each other is going to produce a lot of surprises. I'm sure of that. So yeah, let's go back to 1 second here. Oh, what did I do? There you go. Just grab some coffee. Okay. So Subu is also going to join us for the commentary, which is great. He has joined us 2 or 3 times already. So it's beginning to be a little bit of a habit, especially with this kind of work and with this kind of number of matches. We need more people in. Yeah, let's do the bracket. I haven't got any response from Tao, so Since he hasn't left the tournament, I'm going to consider him in the tourney. If he's not able to fight, we'll see. We'll see what we do later. So again, I'll have to share my screen with you guys, and let's do the bracket. People are nervous. I have the list with all the characters, so I'm going to announce every time before the fight what characters can be used. Here we go. So today is the 9th. I'm not gonna shuffle it 9 times. Let's shuffle it 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. Info versus Subu, gonna be the first fight. The winner of that's gonna face Lotto Trip, first time competing. He's one of the newer players on this server and in the community, so I'm happy to see him play, and hopefully we're gonna have some nice performances. Next fight is gonna be Piper versus me. Next one, Chernobyl versus Oak. Oh, that's a great fight. And one of them is going to go to the lower bracket very early. Then we're going to have Tao versus Jihadi. The winner of that is going to face Pico. And then we're going to have Eders versus Apostle, and the winner of that is going to face Maestro. So let's start the tournament here. And Info versus Subu are going to be the first fighting. Info has selected Marie and Sam for this tournament, and Subu has selected Alex and Barabash, so they can use one of the two character. I hope to be ready right at the start time. You are fighting first. You are first. Actually, Subu. Yeah, so as I said, I will be announcing every time. What characters can be picked. So Maria and Sam for Info. And Alex and Barabash for Subu. So Subu is actually one of the players that went all in the first tournament. He put his strongest characters, Alex and Laslo, in one, and in the other one, he has Jan, who has been using a little bit, and Marta, also a pretty underrated character from Subu. But I think the second tournament is more experimental for him than so he's mostly banking on this first tournament. Speaking of Subu, he organized the tournament last night, and I saw the grand final against Oak, and it was amazing. It was amazing. I loved it. And to be honest, I had a feeling when it so it was 6-4, I think, for Oak. So he needed one more flag in order to win the tournament. And Subu has this incredible ability of coming back when he's a few flags behind. Like every time I fight him, for example, I'm always very careful with that. Like he's just like he can focus so well in those moments, and that's what makes a champion. And when I saw that, I thought, okay, he might actually pull it off. And then there was a thing where one of Oak's attacks went right above his head when he was doing something else, and I'm pretty sure that kind of had a little bit of effect on Oak, that particular flag there. And you know, it's a psychological thing because Subu had just won. Obviously, he was pumped in going into the second final, and Oak had to climbed the mountain again, and eventually Subu managed to win. But it was amazing. I really liked this. Probably one of the greatest finals of all time. Speaking of Subu, let's get him in here.
Hello.
Hello, hello. I was just giving you praise. I don't know if you've heard about the final yesterday. It was an amazing final. I really liked it against
Thanks.
against Oak. And I was saying again, I don't know if you heard or not. I was saying like right when you were 3 flags behind, I was kind of seeing it. I was kind of seeing like he's gonna get those flags back and then win the second final, and that's exactly what happened. I wish I had
Hmm.
typed that in the chat then in that moment because I kind of envisioned it that could happen.
Yeah,
Right.
that was wild, that fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Is the order fixed or we shuffled? We shuffled, yeah. Um, so first fight's gonna be Info versus Subu. Next fight's gonna be Piper versus me. So again, Info can pick Marie and Sam. Subu can pick Alex or Barabash. Here we go. Yeah, I'm very excited. I hope you are excited too for this concept. I think it's gonna put a lot of people in out of their comfort zone, having
Hmm.
to rely on maybe on certain characters that they don't use much.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw the format, so can't wait.
Awesome. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a lot of surprises. I think we're gonna have a lot of surprises because there's so many different matchups that could happen. So many. It's just best of one, 6 flags. So in that type of fight, anything can happen. I wish I could put it with 7 flags. That was my original plan, but we need to make sure that it's not going to be very long. I made a little bit of a calculation. It's usually like with this info's on the left, by the way. You're on the right. With this number of
Mhm.
fights, it it would take like 30 minutes more. Hadi dash. All right, so we're going with Marie versus Bara, and this is pretty much a little bit of a nightmare matchup for Marie, to be honest. But as I said, anything can happen. Oh, and it's another double. Oh, the chop. Yeah, that's a very good move against Marie. Info's being patient here. Waiting for the right opportunity. Goes for a double lunge, gets countered immediately. Subu gets the first flag. Again, reminder of the rules. Whenever you lose, you can't use that character anymore until the second final if you get there. 2 flags here for Subu. Oh, and a combination of cuts there, and Info gets the first flag. Chernobyl there with the statistic. Subu has an 80% win rate against Marie with Barabash. Yeah, that seems pretty accurate. 3-1. Oh, a nice cut there, and followed by a thrust. 3-2. We shouldn't write Info's obituary yet. Oh, and that was a beautiful counter there, 3-3. Info needs to think out of the box here for this fight because against Bara, just playing the traditional, counter spacing game is probably not going to work much. Four, 3 now. 3 flags in a row here for Info. Oh, again. And here's an interesting, let's call it statistic. Subu is actually very good at coming back. Info has a little bit of a history of with the final flags that don't really go in her favor. Double. We'll see what happens this time. Oh, try to grab there. We're a little bit impatient. Out of range, gets punished. 4-4. Still a very close fight. Oh, beats the blade there, but just too far. Oh, tried to get a thrust in. Subu again with the chop gets the flag and takes the lead once again in this fight. 5-4. Oh, nice cut into thrust. 5-5. We're down to the last flag. As I said, anything can happen in these fights. We'll see if Info managed to turn the score once again here. A thrust there and a follow-up cut there from textbook play there from Subu. 6-5. And Subu wins 5-6. Yeah, Info gets many times into these final flags, but I think the tension of the moment kind of builds up a little bit. Subu moves on in the winners bracket. Info is going to fight in the lower bracket a little bit later. Next fight is going to be Piper versus me. And Piper can use Marta or Alex, and I can use Alex or Jan. We might see an Alex mirror, who knows?
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. I know your Alex is pretty good. Also, I just had to take a moment to breathe at that match because if that back Y didn't work, anything could have happened. That was so close.
Yeah. Yeah, it always happens like with the first fight. You gotta warm up a little bit. But that's the thing with this type of tournament. Like you don't really have that luxury, to warm up too much. All right, we're waiting for Piper.
I love how coffee's become a meme too. Eders is like the coffee hasn't fully absorbed yet. Info, get him before the caffeine hits. It's funny. It's like I'm building up my power level, my spiritual pressure.
Yeah. Immediately after this fight, we're gonna have a first round derby, which is Chernobyl versus Oak. Two favorites, I would say, two important candidates at winning these tournaments are going to face each other in round one, which means one of them will have to continue from the lower bracket. Okay, Piper is here. Join. Let's have a quick look at. So Chernobyl went with Jan and Sam, and Oak with Laslo or Barabash. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. Something tells me that the Oak might pick Barabash for this one instead of Laslo, because Jan could prove quite a difficult matchup for Laslo. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so Piper is ready to go. He's taking
Yeah, Marie
left,
doesn't.
taking right.
Yeah, I was just replying to info that he mentioned that Marie doesn't have a lot of stats against other characters. Kind of an interesting observation.
I'm going
Yeah,
with.
because I guess you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying, I guess you came at an unfortunate time when Marie was viewed as weak. There was a time when Marie was a top contender, and the stats would be very different. Like, I swear there was a time where Marie could go 1-for-1 against Isabella. It was during the earliest days of the game, and also, what was it, 2022 probably? Back when we had Buzz. Okay, so Venador with the Yon pick. Let's focus on the fight now. Wanted to stick with his actual Saber main, probably.
Yeah. Regardless of how this goes, just fighting another experienced Alex main in the first round without any warm up might not go too well.
Yeah, I get that. It's definitely like a different footsies game than Yon. And even so, I find like Alex can definitely win this one pretty handily if he plays it right. But yeah, he's got to watch out for those corkscrews. They definitely have the tools to beat each other.
Oh,
Nice blade beat. And the push, yeah, he does the push between the cuts, which is kind of mesmerizing, even if he doesn't actually land it. It's kind of not the point. The point's to flow between his cuts. Yeah, because it used to be harder info to beat Marie's blade. Like, it was doable, but I swear Marie had an easier time recovering from it back in the day. And she had an easier time hitting an Isabella that just tried to charge you down with no awareness of the possibility of being stabbed. Nice corkscrew from Venador, and it's over. But it was contested for sure.
yeah, he put a lot of pressure. He put a lot of pressure on, as always. As always, kind of backed me up in the corner though, there. But I think it was eventually was a good choice that I went with Jan, because probably with Alex he would have done a lot better against me. Nice one, Piper. See you a little bit later in the lower bracket. Let's move on to the next fight, which is Chernobyl versus Oak.
Of course, Chernobyl has proven to be a very formidable player lately. He's showing up to a bunch of tournaments, and he's taken on the best. He's beaten the best before. So Oak's definitely gonna have to lock in, especially if a yawn might be coming.
Yeah. Oak needs to be very very careful with his pick. I think Chernobyl is probably fine with either. Does Chernobyl need keyboard? I think yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I believe so.
Um, but it's more on Oak here. If he decides to actually go Laslo and trust his main, or maybe try
Mhm.
Barabash and I don't know. Chernobyl left, Oak right. Yeah.
Yeah, Barabash can certainly do it as well, but I think he wants that ability to stab and just that little bit more reach against Oak.
Yeah. So he went with Laslo there with his main.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's I'm not sure if it was the same thought process here, but oh, nice thrust there from Oak. Yes, the first one. But for me, it would be like even in a worse matchup, I would still pick Isabella
Mm-hmm.
rather than switch to a character that I'm not very familiar with that would be considered a better matchup. So maybe Oak had the same mindset here. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in the winners bracket with my main, and then I'll see what happens. Probably
Yeah.
this is what. Because then you have that feeling of regret, right? You're not using your main,
Mm-hmm.
you lose,
Mm-hmm.
and then you think, I should have used my main. Now I have to
Yeah.
climb back the ladder. 2-1.
Yeah, well, even yesterday I was thinking that one fight where I beat Oak, I was like, this was by one flag, and I hate stabbing this much. Like, it just doesn't feel right compared to using Bara. So I'm just gonna stick with Bara for the rest of it. And thankfully it paid off, but there were times where Oak still beat me by quite a bit, and then I beat him by quite a bit, and we just adjusted to each other so much. So,
Yeah, and
but using my main in the end was best.
I think you did great because he started to pick it up, because you were constantly using kind of the same moves with the Yan, and he
Hmm.
started picking it up, and that's not something that you want to do against experienced players. Like
No.
there is something that works, but it just can't work forever. They're just gonna figure it out.
Hmm.
And you said it yesterday as well during the commentary.
Yeah.
3-1.
Yeah, and we were talking a bit after, like something I did with Bara as well was I did that three-piece combo,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is
that was
faster for
nice.
Bara than
That was
Yon.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
3-2 now. Rapier fight here so far.
Yeah.
Thrusts between the two. It's kind of understandable because both characters have good footwork and they have good range. I would even argue that Laslo has a good stab. It's pretty fast.
hmm
Oh, nice.
Yeah, especially off of our post, it's very good because the
Yeah.
point's right on line.
Yeah. So it's not entirely out of the question for it to happen. Yeah. Contrary to
Yeah.
popular belief, sabers are good for thrusting as well. Really good
Yeah.
thrusting sword. So. Oh. Oak went to do his feint sidestep thing, like when he
Yep.
goes to the sidestep and then moves to the center line, and Chernobyl just punished it immediately.
Yeah. I think
4-2.
his idea was to beat the blade, but his timing was wrong, so the point just went up into his hand.
And now Chernobyl is doing exactly what the high level player should do. He completely switched the approach there by going forward with a bunch of cuts and caught the Oak off guard and scored the fifth.
Yeah, and now Oak knows it. Like, well, not that he doesn't know it, but it's just he's doing it now.
Ah.
These cuts out of nowhere, and so it makes the job more difficult for Oak because now he has to think about is he gonna cut, is he gonna stab, and not just focusing on countering two moves.
That was a great flag right there. Chernobyl almost got it. He didn't have enough stamina to finish it off. Oh, catches him there with the cut. And Oak patiently got the flag back. Another double.
Oof. And the trouble is, Yana is by no means slow either. That's the other thing Oak has to kind of grapple with. You think he's got range, he might be a little slower, and I think some cuts are slower, but he has moves that'll easily compete with Laslo even on the cut as well.
Yeah.
Oh, getting tired.
Again, the same. So see, this is exactly what I was saying earlier. Chernobyl was just doing this low thrust harassing thing, and then Oak picked it up, and he just let him gas himself out, and got a free flag after.
Yeah. And he almost countered that too.
Yeah, in this type of fights where you're fighting somebody that is very good, a high level player, but is not as experienced as you are, you have to think about, like, what's one thing that I can do in order to win this fight, which is use my experience. And that's exactly what Oak needs to do here. He needs to use his experience. Double.
Oh, got run right through, but he got that cut to the head.
Close fight. Oak a little bit on the back seat in this one, but yeah, he needs his experience.
Yeah, very high level game here, I gotta say. The fact that they're not overextending now, they know each other. They're not gonna just give away flags if they can help it. Ooh, the 3-piece, but Oak kind of knows about it now, but nice. He mixes it up with that stab.
It's actually the high level strat that he had was actually going for that 3-piece, because immediately after he did that, as an opponent, you think, he's overextending and he's going to do it again. But then Chernobyl switched back to his tight play and got the kill there. So very high fight IQ there from Chernobyl. So maybe he may not have the same experience, but he has a very high fight IQ.
Yes.
Oak will continue in the lower bracket a little bit later. Thank you very much. I'm not sure about Tao. He said something about food poisoning. I hope he's fine. He hasn't answered. Yeah, we'll just do. Actually, I'm gonna tag him again.
Yeah, food poisoning is no joke.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. When he said it, I was thinking, food poisoning is probably not gonna. He's not gonna be fine. But we'll see. I'm just gonna tag him. I'm gonna move to the next fight, and we'll see if he answers by then. We can do a couple of fights. Now we got Eders and Apostle joining almost last minute. Eders is gonna use Isabella or Jan, most likely Isabella, and Apostle has Laslo and Tarnavsky. So let's go with that fight. Eders gonna be on the left, Apostle on the right. Yeah, and immediately after that, we're going back to you. Yeah, so people are going to fight very often and very fast. Gonna face Lotto Trip. And then it's gonna be me versus Chernobyl, and then Pico versus Jihadi, possibly, since Tao is not answering, and then the winner of this fight versus Maestro. There's Apostle, there's Eders. Here we go. Eders on the left, Apostle on the right. Eders could pick Isabella or Jan. Apostle can pick Tarnavsky and Laslo, I believe.
Yep, you're correct.
Oh, and we see the new Laslo skin. I had a thought of picking Laslo today and use this skin. I really like it, but I decided that maybe I don't want to end my tournament too early. So, yeah.
That's totally fair.
Oh, goes low.
Nice lunge.
Apostle, a very underrated player. He's not competing much, but when he does, he can fight against anybody. Has good fundamentals. But Eders is also a rising prospect. Oh, nice.
Ooh. That was a good try, and just nice a bit offline.
Yeah. (3-1). Fast start here for Apostle. Eders needs to be careful.
Yeah, he's playing a good in and out game of Laslo, which is kind of the meta way to play him. But he's throwing in some nice lunges in there that Eders, I think, expects to block, but he isn't in the position to do so, so they land.
Oh, nice one.
Nice
perfectly timed. 3-2. The strategy that an Isabella player must have against Laslo is, so Laslo is very fast, and if he gets close, yeah, you could do that. If he gets close, it could be dangerous. Is that you have to stick to the moves that are, oh, nice. Posta the Donna there. Gotta stick with moves that are also just as fast as Laslo or close to that, because if you're trying to use moves that are slower, he's going to punish you very very fast.
Yeah, like he almost did there.
Nice. Nice feint.
As I said, that sidestep pulse edge cut.
Yeah, as I said the first time when oh, beautiful thrust. When I first saw Eders fight, I think he's doing all the right things. Just needs a little bit more experience. That's it. But he has good fight IQ as well. You can see it.
Yeah.
Not overextending.
Yeah, like even with,
not using useless combos, and again a nice thrust to the arm. 6-3. Eders was with a nice comeback there. Apostle is gonna fight a little bit later in the lower bracket. Eders manages to pass his first exam, and then he's going to have a harder exam in Maestro, and I really want to see that fight. I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Let's go with the next fight, which is Subu versus Lotto Trip. Gonna be the first time when I see Lotto compete. If I'm not mistaken, he's also from North America. So hopefully his combination is gonna be his his connection. I was thinking about combinations. His connection is gonna be good. There's Lotto. Immediately after this fight, it's going to be me versus Chernobyl, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very tough fight. There's Lotto. I'm not sure if he needs keyboard. Oh, you got an error. That's not good. He even has it in his name, the never connecting one. He's had problems before.
Yeah,
Cause
I believe so.
yeah, cause he gets that 6023 error, which people get that when they have a very strict internet or something. Let me try something else. Just limit yeah. No tournament without 10 collisions, right?
Right.
Not working. I guess we have to try Steam, although I'm not a fan of it. No. Alright, let's try Steam. I don't even remember. Where was it? Can you remind me how? Honestly, I just can't remember. How do you do Steam Remote?
Uh, there should be like a taskbar, and then one of the icons, I think it's friends or something.
Yeah.
You click that, and that's how you do it. It's not very intuitive looking, so I don't
Yeah,
blame you.
honestly, so I haven't used Steam Remote in so long. I think it's like 6 or 7 months, and I honestly can't remember how to do it. Let me see. Oh, there it is. Okay, okay. It's invite a guest. I think I have you on my friends list, so I can invite you immediately. Yeah. Oh, I'm invisible.
Okay.
Okay. Let's send a link to Lotto. Okay. We have... Oh, wow. 1 bar of connection. Okay, okay, 2 bars now. It's on yellow. Oh, no, it's back on red. Yeah, it's probably not going to be a great experience, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So once again... So Subu's on the left, can use Alex or Barabash. Lotto is on the right, can use Sam or Connor. Here we go. All right. Sam for Lotto. I think Sam is actually quite a challenging matchup for Barabash because of the reach. He's also just as fast as Bara. Double. Solid advice there from Eders. Lotto with some interesting moves there with nice, oh, and a beautiful side step. I guess the first kill. That's an interesting combo. I don't think I've seen it before from Sam. Oh, nice thrust. Does not get the kill though. Catches him again. Oh, and Subu steals this flag with a nice chop. And a nice chop again. Lotto seems very similar to Pico in the way he fights. 2-2. I like that he's using that fast snap cut. Oh, fast snap cut into side step. That's definitely a Pico thing. 3-2. Oh. A nice retreat attack there after blocking. Subu has actually timed his counter really well. But Lotto stood still. Yeah, as I said, this matchup is actually quite difficult for Barabash. I found myself on the losing end many times with this. Oh, but a nice chop there catches Lotto in. Oh, nice sidestep catches the arm there. 5-3, and Lotto is very close to getting a very important win. Oh, a nice chop again. But we know Subu. When he's 3 flags behind, that's when you need to start worrying about the fight. Oh, maybe some connection issues, I think. Very tight gameplay there from Lotto. Another chop, and the second one lands. Lotto's not... Okay, okay. I thought he's maybe have some connection issues. Oh, and again. 6-5. Subu comes back. I think he might have had some connection problems there with the way that he was moving, but it is what it is. Subu again with a nice comeback of 3 flags.
GG.
I'm not sure. Maybe he tried to grab, maybe he tried to push. It looked a little bit odd.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like when he's so close to me, I have to go
Yeah,
for the
yeah, yeah. No, no,
kill.
no, no.
So I feel
Absolutely.
bad, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It is what it is. Like that's the thing. Like if you're moving back and you just pause the game, okay, that's fine. But if you're like moving forward or even throwing attacks, I remember in one of my first tournaments, I fought Eve, and it was on Warden's host, and he was having
Hmm.
some connection issues, and then at one point he said that he had some connection issues, but he threw attacks at me, and when he threw attacks at me, obviously because I countered, but there was like one
Hmm.
moment immediately when it looked a little bit weird, but it, whenever you see somebody attacking, you just have the instinct to counter back. Um,
Hmm.
in a slideshow. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. It is what it is.
Yeah, that was a good effort though. I had to really lock in there and go for those second cuts to the weak of the blade and hope it worked. Because Sam's guard, like you were saying, and his reach definitely makes that matchup a little bit tougher.
Yeah, and
But
also Steam is even worse
mhm.
when the whenever there are some connection problems, it makes it even worse. Um, okay. Yeah, but again, not taking anything from you. You did your job and moved on to the next round. Next fight is gonna be between me and Chernobyl. There's Chernobyl. Try to connect as well, Subu.
Oh yes, okay. Connecting now.
Okay. I really hope that I don't have to restart the game after using Steam. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm gonna quickly restart it. That's the only problem that I have with Steam. I have to restart the game for controllers to work. Right, this one is gonna be pretty interesting. Venador is currently 3-2 against me. There's something about the Yon mirror. Yeah, most likely gonna be a Yon mirror unless he decides to pick somebody else. We'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Beyond mirror.
He said something earlier about that against another Yan player, you need to just throw more corkscrews than the other. So we're just gonna start throwing corkscrews at each other and see who manages to throw more. Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, he presented that angle and he took it. That's the trouble sometimes with sidestepping is it does give you an angle, but in doing so, you're also presenting an angle to your opponent, and the corkscrew takes an unorthodox angle, so
Yeah, it's
sometimes you're
also
just
really
right in the
fast.
path.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. It's also really fast. So when you're trying to go for a sidestep, it's just gonna catch you, like it did there.
yeah, I think it is sidesteppable, but it's the window for doing so is not. It's short enough that the human mind probably can't react to it. So it's definitely if you're gonna dodge it, it'd be like a preemptive thing, not a reaction type thing.
There you go. 2 corkscrews to 1.
Oh, nice counter thrust. That's one way to counter it as well, I find. Ooh, the wraparound trying to mix it up, but the point was offline, so Venador takes the opportunity to land that corkscrew. It's a good move to mix up those thrusts, actually, especially against like Isabella or Laslo, like characters that are exposed to that particular angle, but against Yon, it might be more suspicious. Yeah, a lot of thrust. The back Y also a very good move. Ooh, yeah. Like that, even that thrust too, that comes in so quick.
Yeah, he caught me with another one just a little bit earlier. Exactly when I was trying to throw something, he caught me with it. That's why it went went through like that.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta cork the screw, Oak says. Oh, goes for the cut though. That might have. Okay, now he's semi-tired. He seems like he's on like the borderline there of the stamina. So Venador's taking his time, just letting him exhaust himself, and there it is.
And the Oak strategy there, letting him gas out. 6-3, good fight. Pretty tight there, but it is what it is. Okay. Haven't got any answer from Tao, so I guess we're gonna move Jihadi to the next round. You can always like we're gonna see if he answers until the lower bracket. If not, he can always join the second tournament if he feels better. So we're gonna do Pico versus Jihadi now. Yeah, as Oak said, and Jan is particularly vulnerable to that. When he gets hit, he goes into zombie mode very quickly. Pico versus Jihadi, yes. Jihadi is here. Pico is also here. And let's see the characters that these two gentlemen can use. Pico can use Zera or Marta, so he's going back to his roots. And Jihadi, Marina or Alex. Okay, yeah, very interesting. By the way, let me just quickly remove the characters that were defeated. Just put a red color on them. Oak also lost Laslo. Chernobyl lost Jan. That's also another side of things. Like when you beat somebody's main character, that you know that if you're gonna face them again, they're probably not gonna be at their best. Jihadi Piper lost Alex. Apostle lost Laslo. And that's so far. Okay. Let's go. Pico takes the left side, Jihadi the right side. After this fight, we're going into the lower bracket. So some elimination fights are going to take place. And some players will be able to rest a little bit until the next tournament. Zera versus Marina. nice tap. That is a Pico special. That is kind of a custom snap cut that Zera has,
Mm-hmm.
which is canceling the regular Y. It becomes a little bit of a snap cut.
Ooh, those cancels. Very sketchy for Jihadi to close in because of that.
Pico,
Pekla taking full advantage of the reach that he has. Yeah.
Pico Zera is very tough to beat unless you're playing very conventionally, which is being patient, waiting for counters, waiting for openings, because given the fact that he is doing so many cancels and doing so many different combos and moves, and Zera is a particularly good character at just catching you with his baits. It has the range, it has the power, and also a lot of his moves have a wide area of attack. Two to
Nice
one for
back
Jihadi
line.
though, just by being
Yeah,
patient.
he's doing well so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And going for single tempo is when he counters too. So the shield's there, and then the sword is going into his opponent.
Nice push. And the X follow-up, which is a little bit slower, but it still works.
Ooh,
Nice.
yeah, that sidestep. Pekla ran right into it. Yeah, Jihadi really likes that. He has he uses it a lot like Venador used to use the Venador. And he went for the stab there, but Pekla beat it down. So I think it still landed, but it didn't land very well.
Immediately after this fight, we have a very interesting one, I'd say. Maestro versus Eders. I think it's going to be very disputed. Oh, the thrust! Nice from Pico there. Just going back immediately after sensing that that thrust is going to put him in danger.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh, but the
counter.
sidestep again.
Yeah.
That's a good strategy from Jihadi in this matchup too. When you're fighting Zera, his lateral movement when he commits is not very good. And it's working well for him so far. Does work. Yeah, Zera has kind of a Zwerk copter type thing.
Yeah.
From that foot forward.
Yeah, we definitely need a longsworder, a German longsworder.
Yeah, with a proper one. Not a drunken one. Not to disrespect Heckler's style, of course. He's doing fine, but...
Yeah, German longsword is really cool. I would say, although Isabella is my favorite character, I would say German longsword is a little bit cooler than Fiore. It has some really tight combinations, and it's faster, a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah. I think the lore around it is cooler too. Like, there's this German fencing brotherhood that existed back then that's mentioned, but we don't know much about, and all these other small things. And there's like a guy from Prague, a guy from Poland. Like, it was pretty international, so it's kind of cool.
Yeah. At the beginning of the game, Isabella was actually a mix between German longsword and Italian. That's why a lot of people liked Isabella so much in the beginning, because she had so many cool moves. She had the Zwerkopter, as you said, and some other a very fast German style moves. And then Kubol decided, okay, I'm just gonna go full Fiore Italian longsword with this one. I'm gonna create another character later on that is going to be a German longsword. We're still waiting, but Isabella, like the initial build of Isabella was really cool. Like, her moves were really nice. That's why she was so popular back then.
Yeah.
So Pico loses this one, goes to the lower bracket. He's going to be fighting soon again. Now we get Eders versus Maestro. Eders with a solid start. Let's see, Maestro swapped his characters here. Maestro has Jan and Sam. Jan and Sam. I think both characters can be quite quite a difficult matchup to Isabella. I'm quite sure that Eders was going to go Isabella.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. Edis has my heart. The bromance here between Chernobyl and Eders. The two new, well, I would say probably Eders is still a rising prospect. Chernobyl is pretty much a certainty at this point. Not that the Eders could not become one. It just has a little bit more work to do. Eders on the left, Maestro on the right. Yeah, Jan picked there from Maestro. I was expecting it. I think this is going to be a very tough match for Eders. Maestro knows exactly how to play with Jan against Isabella. He has a lot of tricks. Yeah.
Ooh, he immediately beats it down.
Just bleed, says Eve. Nice high guard attack. 1-1. Jan versus Isabella has been a pretty balanced match since forever. I would say probably history is on Isabella's side. Probably a little bit more successful, but still it was always a disputed matchup between these two. Oh, nice.
Definitely quirk. Nice quirk. That three-piece from Maestro when his opponent, it wasn't really a blade beat, at least it didn't look like one, but I think the game considered it a blade beat. It was really smart of him to go for that third cut when his opponent was frozen like that.
3-1. Oh, beautiful combination. Maestro is a Jan player that likes to throw a lot of neutral cuts. Nice chop. And it's working for him. Goes with the low thrust. Edis is being patient here, and I like that he had a good intention there, but the timing wasn't great. 5-1. Oh,
nice!
Beautiful,
wow,
beautiful. Maestro ends in style, so Eders will have to pick himself up in the lower bracket, and will have to actually use the same character that ended his winner bracket run here in Jan. Congratulations to Maestro. That was a really nice performance. He advances to round 3. We're moving into the lower bracket, so we're going to have a couple of fights here. The first one is going to be Piper versus Oak. And we already know the characters that they're going to pick. Piper is going to use Marta, and Oak is going to use Barabash. So I think Barabash is actually a pretty good pick against Marta, but Piper is quite unpredictable with her.
Mm-hmm.
There's Oak. There's Piper. Ready to go. Piper is taking left side. Oak is taking right side. And as I said, we already know the character picks. Here we go. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh yes, the Zorro skin. Love to see that from Piper. In Cortada doesn't complete the combination though. There's a nice cut all the same. Already not looking so good for Oak. Marta is, I mean, like Venador said, I still consider Barabash a good pick against Marta, but Marta can beat anybody pretty convincingly, I would say, played properly. Stabbing downward. There's the little snap cut there from Oak. Yeah, there's been a new skin for quite a while, Maestro. And there's a push in the stab. Piper's very good at pushing, and Marta has actually a really nice push that also can act as an attack. So that's the nice thing about it. You don't have to throw that push with the off chance that there's no threat afterwards. There's always an attack afterwards if you go through with it. But sometimes you leave yourself a little bit exposed when you do it. It's definitely situational. Well, Piper, I think he had to keep going with that nasty sidestep combination, and he would have had Oak there, but he hesitates. He stops and then goes for that jab, which just didn't have the reach. So Piper's landing hits right now, but he's not landing those decisive hits, and he's not chaining them together perhaps as well as he could have. And Oak is playing, to his credit, a very nice Barabash against the Rapier too. Now he's going to look to finish it, but he ended up doing a back Y, maybe just making absolute sure that he's got this, because you never know, a back Y from Marta can come out of nowhere. I think Piper, oh, I was going to say, I think he's tired, but that's the thing, sometimes it's very deceptive. And so, Oak running himself through there, and the pressure's on for Piper because he could easily get eliminated. He goes for another stab, and this time it gets right past long guard. The accuracy of Marta is proving pretty good. Perhaps Oak was trying something too, though. That's also worth keeping in mind. But all the same, like the moment there's an opening, Marta is very good at just capitalizing that opportunity. But Oak just tanking that stab. That's probably the best thing he could have done there. Perhaps he took a hit to the eye, but he lands that chop to the head, and it works. And Oak manages to take it. I think he was playing a pretty textbook Barabash against the Rapier, going for that chop. That chop is just so good at getting past her defense and hitting her head, so very good idea on his part. And Piper did his best. It's just Oak was very determined to close in, and he wasn't able to stop Barabash in the end. So Oak moves on. And after that, I suspect we'll do Lotto against the Possible, but that'll be up to Venador, of course. Probably then Eders against Info.
Sorry about that. Who won this fight?
No problem. Oak won. And
Um,
I believe it was 6-4.
6-4. Okay. 6-4. Congratulations. Probably was a tough fight.
Yeah, it was. His Barabash proved to be a good pick, though, I think.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Piper. Always great having you. Looking forward to the next tournament. Um, Eve was in the chat earlier. I could have given him Tao's spot, but I'm not sure if his. I'm just gonna send him a message and see. Um, we'll see if we get to that fight. Okay, so Piper lost Marta as well, so he is eliminated. We're moving to the next fight, which is Eders, who just fought. Will be fighting Info. Info is actually on the left, and Eders on the right. Info can use only Sam, and Eders can use only Jan, so it's going to be a saber fight. Yeah, so Eve said that he wants to replace Tao, so that's great.
All right.
But we need to get something figured out.
Eders getting a crash course on how to do the corkscrew from Chernobyl, so we'll see how that plays out. He didn't know how to do it beforehand.
Waiting for Info to join. In the meantime, we're figuring out characters with Eve. He's gonna go Calc, because obviously since he's starting from the lower bracket, he will pick only one character from the ones that he originally had. But he could gain Bara back. Eve, is he listening? Yeah. I sent
He
you
said count.
an
Yeah.
invite. Yeah. An invite. Okay. There's Info. Right. Info had a good performance against you earlier. It was a very close fight.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what's gonna happen here against Eders. Both players a little bit out of their element.
Yeah, and I wouldn't count info out here because Eders is just learning how to like throw the corkscrew, so presumably he doesn't have the timing of it down. So I don't know if it's necessarily a crucial move against Marie. I think just cuts is fine. But that inexperience compared to Info's experience with Marie might play a role here. Oh yeah, she uses Sam, my bad. So a saber fight, still.
Yeah, Sam, because she lost
Info doesn't main Sam, so yeah.
Marie earlier.
So that's still interesting. But experience might still allow Info to take this. We'll see what Eders can do. Going for the corkscrew. But Info knows about it. Oh yeah, that's a classic mistake, and anybody can make it. That's doing the trick shot by accident instead of doing the corkscrew, and I think he did it again.
First flag there for Info. Yeah, I would favor Info in this fight. Solely based on experience with the character, because I've seen Info using Sam before, and she was quite formidable with him.
There's the chop. That's a pretty good move in this matchup if you can find his weak side.
Oh, try to push
Good
out of
upcut.
range, gets caught. Five-year cooldown, yeah. You can't cancel the recovery with pressing back, but you have to be very fast with it.
Yeah.
And it needs to hit the block.
It is an
as well.
awkward attack too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get why it has the recovery. It's like you gotta move your hand back and stuff after picking this weird angle.
Yeah, the other thrust forward, a long guard Y could use some love, but we all know how problematic are those particular moves, because we don't have specific guards in the game for them, and more often than not they become overpowered. Oh!
That was a tired swing from Eders. Wow.
Tired swing and got the kill.
One shot. Yeah.
One
That's
shot.
one of the best tired swings, if not the best, in the game, because you can actually retreat with it.
Yeah. That was nice.
And Eders... Oh, he did the trick shot again. I don't think he's trying to do that.
Yeah, it's to do the corkscrew you gotta do forward long guard X.
Yes, Bara has that as well. The tired swing.
Yeah, there you go. He was listening.
Yeah, I think Sam can still shut it down though, played properly. So it's not going to be a matter of just knowing how to use it.
Oh, one to the face.
Nice.
And actually works this time. 4-3, and Eders is back in this fight, and he's taking the lead. People in the SAS is saying that Jan and Barabash's tired animations are pretty cool. I agree. But when it comes to tired swings, Zera and Gideon have the best tired swings when it comes to effectiveness. Like those tired swings can actually kill you. 4-4.
And yeah, it's equal.
Oh.
And there's the cork. Info is trying something or moving to the side, and that allowed it to land. Yeah, you gotta resist that urge sometimes and just long guard it, I find. Because by throwing an attack, your auto guard's disabled, and the corkscrew will just find a really nice angle. You gotta resist the urge to try and meet the blade with a single tempo and try and beat it down, because
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's not gonna work. Alex can kind of do it by hitting the head first with that quick sidestep that he has, but he basically has to gamble with the corkscrew either not landing in time or taking the hit and taking the favorable trade. Eders needs one more. Info, a little unsettled, I think, because those corkscrews were starting to find their mark.
Oh, and that's perfect. I was about to say that's
Nice.
exactly what you need to do, which is to fight it head on and not let it, not let the tip reach. And
That's
a
it.
beautiful side step and info
Nice.
wins it 6-5. Solid effort there from Eders. To be honest, just as a fan, not as a commentator, uh, you know, info after losing that fight against you, and it was such a close fight. I wouldn't. I
Hmm.
didn't really want for her to lose again, also with 6-5, because it would be pretty, you know, a little bit demoralizing.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
I input the wrong score. Info moves on. Eders is eliminated from this tournament, and as far as I know, he's not going to compete in the second one unless he changes his mind. To see him in the next one. Thank you very much for competing. He was great. And now we have a very interesting fight between Oak can't catch a breath in this tournament, and he's going to be fighting Pico. Oak's going to be on the left, Pico on the right. Keyboard warriors, literally.
Yep.
Nah, I do like you, Eders. I do like you, but sometimes, sometimes is sometimes. Yeah, sometimes we'll have to. Um, you know, it's kind of natural whenever we're watching these fights. You do have, I wouldn't say a favorite, but sometimes you have this feeling of like I'd like if this guy won, you know, or this. It's just something
Hmm.
natural. It happens. You remember back in the day when everybody in the chat was rooting against me? It was a joke, obviously, but like
Yeah.
everybody was rooting against
Yeah.
me, and I get it. You know, like I get it
Yeah, you were so good, and people want the underdog to win.
to win. Yeah, I totally understand that. Good. So Oak takes the left, Pico takes the right. Uh, Oak will have to use Barabash, and Pico will have to use Marta. So the same the same matchup here for Oak. He had a little bit of training with Piper earlier. I lost my shine. Everyone's an underdog. Not really. I wouldn't say that.
Eve says time is an illusion. That's an interesting philosophical debate we could have.
Mm. Oh, got the.
Anywho,
Yeah, Oak is doing the right thing here, moving back and forth, doing a lot of chops, going with the thrust. That thrust actually, although it's slower,
Yeah.
sometimes it proves to be quite decent against Marta.
Yeah, because it behaves like a cut.
Double.
Yeah, and Oak knows about the chop. Oh, he gets hit in the leg. That was a good try to try and get out of the way of it. And he beats down that blade, landing a hit of his own.
Look at that
Peckling,
cancel.
it's an
Look at those
interesting looking.
cancels.
Wow. Oh,
Oh, and this
again.
one. Yeah, he's just like
It's
the
like what he
flick
does
of the
with
wrist.
Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he tried it again. Now there's a... Okay, he didn't quite complete the combo, but that was a good effort.
The second attack that he threw, that low cut, is just something that I really hate about Marta. Is that whenever you do like an X thrust and then immediately go, you think that you're going with another one, but every time you go with that low cut, so it's a little bit anticlimactic. Oh, nice
Yeah.
side step, beautiful, 4-1.
That's why with Marta, sometimes I do the same move over and over, because I'm way more sure it's going to be another stab instead of another cut,
Yeah.
or like a series of different moves.
But Marta has some combos that are pretty unique to her, which is she has 2 or maybe 3 combos that are feints. So it's like a feint followed by a legitimate attack. 5-1. Yeah. Oak. Oh, with the chop there, 6-1. Oak with the no nonsense type of gameplay here. He's not trying anything crazy, just going in with the pressure, with the chops, and eliminates Pico's Marta. Thank you very much, Pico. See you a little bit later in the second tournament. Oak's Barabash manages to continue in the tournament. So let's quickly add here. Pico lost Marta as well. Right. Next is going to be Chernobyl versus Eve. Eve, please accept the challenge thing. Chernobyl on the left, Eve on the right. It's gonna be a tough fight, but Chernobyl is not going to use Jan. Chernobyl is going to use Sam, and Eve is going to use Kalk. So that was his selected character for the lower bracket. Eve likes underdog story, so he's starting straight from the lower bracket, from the depths of the underworld. Chernobyl. Speaking of the underworld, I wonder if any of you have started playing Kazan, the first Berserker, the new game. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I've heard some things, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. It's interesting. Is somewhat similar to Neo. And it has some mechanic. Kind of has a lot of mechanics from a lot of popular titles. It's a fun game. Okay. Right. So this is going to be a pretty disputed match, I think. I really don't underestimate Chernobyl using Sam, because I think Sam is a character that fits his playstyle. And I actually think Sam is one of the sabers that actually does well against Kalk. For example, if you're thinking about Getty or Laslo or Alex, characters that are a little bit more exposed to the midsection where Kalk has a lot of attacks,
Hmm.
but not Sam. Sam has a pretty strong stance and good low guard as well.
Yeah, for sure. And his thrusts are pretty straight, just like Calc, so he can counter thrust really nicely. Yeah, he definitely fights for the center really well. And yeah, even those quick sidesteps, if something goes wrong, he can quickly just pop a cut to the head. Whereas Calc often has to do a more exaggerated move to recover.
Yeah. Yeah, Eve needs to play his best here. As I said, just the same thing about Oak. He needs to use his experience. The second kill there, nice counter.
Yeah. And that cut you can cancel too. Koala likes doing that with Samuel, and it's really, really fast.
Yeah, I think there are a
Oh.
lot of similarities between Chernobyl and Koala. I think Chernobyl really has that. Although Koala was also trying some crazy stuff, but when it comes to like serious gameplay, Koala was oh goes low with the leg thrust. That was a beautiful flag there. I was saying that Koala, whenever he plays like seriously, he has a very tight
Hmm.
gameplay, which is quite similar to Chernobyl's.
Nice fab.
3-2.
Oh,
Oh,
good
tries to
try
go
from
low.
Eve. Yeah, Sam is he's really quick to come back to guard, so it was a good try. But yeah, that chop was good though. He overextended, and Eve just went right for the chop.
3-3.
It's one of those long guard moves. If you time it just right, you can use it as a parry against cuts too. Because the wind up of the cut doesn't behave like long guard, it behaves like any other cut. So it can be a really nasty counter striking move. Just like Gideon's chop, actually, a very similar idea.
So Eve is doing exactly what I was saying earlier. He's getting creative. You know, he knows that he needs
Hmm.
to think outside of the box here. And he got creative with that leg thrust. He tried it again there.
Nice exchange. Chernobyl having a lot of pressure applied to him here. He's stuck in that corner.
Yeah, I like that Eve is being patient here, and he delivers the blow there. Perfect. Perfectly played. He had a little bit of a health advantage and stamina advantage as well, so that's a lesson that we all learned the hard way, which is whenever you got that advantage, you have to play it safe and you gotta be really patient.
Hmm. Yeah, Eve's waiting for that counter. He goes for a stab, and they both counter thrust each other there. That was a good try from both of them.
Oh, nice cut. Perfectly timed. 4-4. Oh, tried.
Nice
That was a
stab.
very good try there from Eve, but Chernobyl's reaction was perfect. 5-4. Oh, goes for the size. That
Oh.
was again a nice intention there, but Chernobyl anticipated again. 6-4, and unfortunately, this ends for Eve right here. Since he joined a little bit later, but Chernobyl is going to be fighting. And he's going to be fighting the winner between Lotto and Apostle. Let's see if Lotto can connect to. We're gonna try again. Maybe he can connect to Parsec. Maybe something is gonna change. I don't know. And after this fight, we're gonna move back to the winners bracket. It's gonna be a fight between me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Quite interesting to see how's that gonna go. Come on, Lotto, connect. No, it's not working. All right, let's not lose time. Going straight to Steam. Um, so okay, this one is for Lotto, for Apostle. Here we go. The characters that these players can use. So Lotto can use only Connor, and Apostle can use Tarnowski. I think it's gonna be a pretty interesting match. Lotto connected. Waiting for Apostle to connect as well. Okay, let's try something else. I don't know. Okay, Apostle connected. Uh, we'll see. Lotto on the left. Oh. And Apostle on the right. I just hope it works. Cause Steam with Parsec, I don't know. They just don't work well. Lotto taking left,
Yeah.
Apostle taking right. It's just the controllers are distributed. That's why it's better to have both players on the same. Yeah.
Yeah, but I get preferring Parsec. Even for me, like when I was on Steam, it was that little bit. Uh, the quality was just a little bit lower than it is on Parsec, so I totally understand.
Yeah, it's not working, man. Let's go with Steam. just doesn't. The controls don't work. I don't know. I'm sorry. Hopefully it's gonna be fine. Yeah, maybe I should just put something in the description of tournaments, which is that if there is a need to switch to Steam, then both players will have to play Steam. Something like
Yeah,
that.
just for logistical reasons.
Lotto's connection looking great though. 3 bars.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll need a link too.
Yeah.
Or you could disable my controller maybe, whichever.
Oh, he tries to connect Parsec again. Okay. It's not gonna work, man. Okay, let me disable your controller.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try to disable mine in Steam as well. I think. Okay. He connected to Steam. Let me kick him from Parsec then. Okay, let's go back. Lotto left Apostle, right? Alright, it's working. Nice. Tarnavsky for Apostle. And Connor for Lotto. Here we go. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, Tarnowski against Connor. This is a pretty cool matchup, actually. Both have a lot of hand protection. Tarnowski has these wide sweeping cuts versus the defense of the shield and the tight nature of Connor's swordplay. But Apostle doing really well so far. Very good Tarnowski player, I have to say. Very versatile in general as a player, but his Tarnowski definitely is one of his stronger picks. I don't blame him for leaving Tarnowski in reserve, though. He's not always the most reliable pick. Sometimes you're just having an off day or you haven't warmed up with him and suddenly you're not playing as well with him as you hoped. Certainly in my experience, that's how it can go. But if you as the defender are not warmed up to his tempo, it can also go very poorly. Beautiful usage of that high guard. Where right when his opponent was open, he went straight for it instead of holding the guard and then cutting, so just instantly punished. And that those downward swings, you'd think against the shield it wouldn't work so well, but they actually do, because you can slip those cuts between the weapons. And we're seeing that again. And especially if Lotto tries anything, whether it's a stab or a cut, the auto guard will not be as effective. And so Apostle can just go straight for the attack. That's a double, but Apostle maintains that lead. Yeah, I hope Lotto Trip's doing okay. He kind of pauses at the beginning of the matches, probably trying to sort of reassess there. And there he got tired. Unfortunately, Connor, not having the best stamina, takes the hand right off.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Looks like Lotto is a very decent fighter, but you know that's the problem with the way that we play the game, which is some connection problems there. Thank you very much though for competing. You're still welcome to compete in the second tournament as well. There's no problem. We can use Steam, but yeah, it is what it is. Apostle moves on, and we'll be facing Chernobyl a little bit later. All right. We have 8 people left in the competition, and the tournament is going to go a little bit faster now since players are going to be fighting sooner. Next fight is going to be me versus you in round 3. I have to restart the game though.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I am on the left. You are on the right. It's definitely going to be a good fight. For qualification in the semifinals. I don't know, Lotto. If you wanna maybe try to change something else, maybe restart your router or do, I don't know, anything that you think it might help. It might help. Um, it's really not a problem. You know, it's really not a problem. You can try, and we can give you another shot in the second tournament. So do not think that, okay, I don't want to bother these people. It's fine. It's something that we've dealt many times with.
Mm-hmm.
Just 1 second.
Especially in the early days.
Gotta get water.
Yeah, no problem.
Gotta get water.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always a shame when your connection doesn't work. I know how that feels. I think we've all had moments like that, especially if we were newer and we didn't understand how all this worked and whatnot. But we're still more than happy to have you if you think there's some troubleshooting you can do. Because usually I mean, if it is your end and your ISP is just being difficult, I guess there's not much you can do, or if there's something like that going on, but it never hurts to restart the router. Sometimes you just got to restart it. So
Yeah.
I recommend at least giving it a try.
Yeah, but we're not going to discourage anybody from you know, trying to compete. Jan versus Barabash here. Ryu versus Ken type of fight. Well, it used to be. Now they're a little bit different, I'd say. Although they still have a couple of moves in common. Nicely timed side step there. The chop was very close. try the side step there. Nice. GG. Great fight.
Ooh, GG.
Great fight.
Yeah, that one time I did that dash. That was a huge mistake. We did the one thing we were talking about that you do not do against the corkscrew.
Yeah.
But no, here's a good fight.
The side step X, right? You were trying to, but I think it was more like
Yeah, yeah. It caught me instantly.
it's something that most of us do, which is like you do a move, but it's more of a decoy move. You're just trying to get yourself in a certain position. You caught me with one as well. I was doing a side step, but side step A, but I wasn't actually attacking. I was just trying to reposition. And when I did that, you immediately punished it with the chop. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how it goes. GG.
Yeah, good
You'll
game though.
continue in the semifinals, and in the semifinals, you'll have to go back to your former main, which is Alex,
Mm-hmm.
because as far as I understand, your new main is Barabash now.
Yeah,
Such
exactly.
betrayal.
Yeah.
It's your main. Right now, we got another interesting fight between Maestro, who looked great in his first fight, and he's going to be fighting Jihadi, who also looked great in against Pico. Obviously, the experience is here in Maestro's favor. We'll see if Jihadi is going to pull up a surprise here. Maestro can use either Yan or Siam. Jihadi is going to use Marina or Alex, and I'm pretty sure he's going to use Marina, especially after that solid performance he had against Pico earlier. Alright, so let's... What other characters we need to eliminate here? From Lotto. From... Subu. Yeah, here we go. There's Maestro. There's Jihadi. What do you think about this fight?
I'm pretty excited for it. Maestro showed us amazing Yan gameplay, so I think he's the favorite. He has just so much more experience, and Yan is such a powerful character. So Jihadi definitely has his work cut out for him, but Marina can still be pretty tough if you're not careful. So Maestro definitely does not want to get careless here. He doesn't want to overextend with corkscrews or something. I think you want to play a more standard Saber game against Marina.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Oh, why the sidestep got hit there? Maestro likes to play his Yan with a lot of forward cuts. And that's exactly
Mm-hmm.
where Marina can defend really well. So Maestro will have to get creative here. Oh, and that's
Nice.
one of one of those creative strategies. Nice retreat one.
Yeah, that's really what you gotta do against that thrust, is you gotta find a way to beat it down or dodge it for the most part.
Oh, nice. Caught the arm there.
So yeah, it's kind of the tough thing about this one. You can't treat it like the corkscrew. You do want to sidestep it, I find, or you do want to beat it down. The
Beautiful,
corkscrew you want to take head on with long guard.
beautiful cut to the leg. Maestro feels very confident here. He's just going for it.
Mm-hmm.
push.
Oh.
It's the I like to call this the push feint. Although it's not really a feint, but it's like you throw the push, but you're not really intending to push, but just land the second attack.
Mm-hmm.
And Maestro again with a very solid Yan performance. Right against the same size of him. Then
That,
6-1. Another 6-1. Maestro looks like a world beater tonight. Congratulations. And he's going to be in the semifinals against me, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do a Yan mirror. We'll see who Yan's better. Right. Back to the lower bracket. Oak is facing Info. Oak plays Barabash. Info plays Sam. And as I said, I think Sam is a little bit of a bad matchup for Bara.
mm-hmm.
Um, we'll see if Info can produce a surprise here against Oak. And the winner of this fight will face you. So we might get another Oak Subu match
Yeah, that would be cool.
here in the tourney.
Yeah, very unorthodox though. It would be Barabash versus Alex in that case, which I don't think I've done with Oak before. So we'd be in some uncharted territory there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Info. I just denied your connection. I misclicked. Can you try again? There she is. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think this fight is going to be pretty close. I've seen Info recently in a lot of tournaments. I've seen her gameplay has changed a little bit. You know, in the beginning, Info was a little bit of just kind of trying different stuff and kind of surprising people with different things. But recently, she has changed her
Hmm.
style a little bit to something a little bit more composed, a little bit more patient. So I think she's definitely not a pushover at this point. Oh, and
Definitely. Oh,
that's
already.
exactly what
Nice point.
it just confirms what I just said.
Yeah. One thing Barabash definitely wants to do here is to find those angles, and I think that's what Oak was thinking about doing, but then Info just sniped the hand. That was really beautifully done.
Yeah, fighting against a character that has oh nice beautiful counter. Fighting against a character that has the same speed but better range is always an uphill battle.
Mm.
It's
Better
ex-
guard too, I would say.
yeah, oh beautiful. That's exactly the same matchup that we had when Laslo faced Yan. Like Laslo's ability is speed, and if you have a character, oh something
Whoa.
went.
Oh, going a little nuts, but it's working. I mean, I kind of did that against Sam too. I just went for two cuts. But I was like, I just gotta make sure that guy goes down, you know? Nice.
Oak with the aggression, and it's working. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is probably the best way to approach this fight. Perfect.
Yeah.
4-2. Is to be aggressive.
Yeah. Because Bara has the damage in this matchup. Like, that's his one, besides explosive footwork, but even then, Sam does have some good side steps.
It's working.
So,
It's
yeah, it
working.
is.
You gotta
Info's
watch
thrown
out for
off by
that.
it.
You gotta watch out for that if he's going to win this fight. He's probably gonna try to do that against you as well.
Ooh, three
And it's
piece. Yeah,
working.
that was nice. Yeah.
Working. That was interesting, and I liked it. Congratulations. 6-2. Unfortunately, the experience was decisive here. Info, thank you very much. See you on the next event. Great performances so far. So it's gonna be Subu versus Oak, but a little bit later. Now we're getting Apostle versus Chernobyl. Apostle gonna use Tarnavsky, and Chernobyl is going to use Sam. Yeah, I think
Maybe right
Chernobyl.
back.
Yeah, sure. I think Chernobyl has a little bit of a. I wouldn't say advantage, but I would favor him in this one because I think Sam is a little bit faster than Tarna. But Apostle just showed us a little bit earlier that he means business with him. Apostle left side. Sorry. Apostle left side. Yes. Chernobyl right side. Maybe didn't pick the correct. Oh, I forgot. Chernobyl needs keyboard. Okay. Here you can select now. Chernobyl. Here we go. Tarnavsky with the hat. I prefer that one as well against Sam.
All right, I'm back.
Welcome back. Immediately after this fight, it's gonna be the semi-final between me and Maestro. The Grey Yan versus
This is
Red.
a matchup we don't see very often.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
wanted to say that a little bit earlier, that you don't really see this matchup.
Yeah. They approach the fight in such a different way. Like Tarnowski using the Dusak and the Meyer style, whereas Samuel is using what I think a lot of people like a style that's closer to like sort of standard European military saber and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think
So it's a really cool matchup.
Sam's Saber style. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Sam's Saber style is a little bit of a later style. I'm not sure if it's a 17th
Yeah.
century style. It looks more like a later Saber style.
Yeah, I would say so. It looks like it's got like some Hungarian in there especially. So because it reminds me of how like Russ Mitchell fights. He's that YouTuber who does Austro-Hungarian saber stuff. So
3-1. Chernobyl means business with Sam, and I didn't expect anything less.
also just where he holds his saber, he holds it out there and he lunges a lot. Like that's definitely later stuff for the most part. That should be tough for Tarna. Yeah, I think it often is, Eve, just because of the Samuel is much more straightforward with his guard.
Yeah, I think
Tarnovsky here probably wants to get close, cause chaos, and force Sam to make a mistake. That's probably what he wants to do.
yeah, that's the difference between certain characters in this game, which is there are certain characters that can work well, but you always have to be like very creative with them compared to certain characters that you can just play in a very standard way. Sam is one of those characters. Like you can just pick him up and you just play, just attack, defend, and so on. But with Tarna, is not the same thing. You gotta be creative.
Ooh. That was good spacing, but just couldn't find the snipe after that. Oh, there's the stab, yeah.
Yeah, dominant performance there from Chernobyl. Congratulations, 6-2. Apostle, thank you very much. See you in the next event. Let me see. In the next event, he picked Bara and Alex, and as far as I know, Apostle actually mains these two characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's probably banked his best characters on the second tournament. Okay, Marina here. Here we go. So now we're moving into the semifinals. We got six players left. It's gonna be me versus Maestro now. Actually, Maestro versus me because he won by a larger margin. And after that, we're gonna get Subu versus Oak, and after that, we're gonna get Chernobyl versus Jihadi. We're a little bit um, late, I would say,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to take too long until we finish this first event. We're going to immediately start the second one, like in 5 minutes or something like that. Right, so this is the semi-final. Whoever wins this one is in the grand final. And we'll have a chance of fighting for the title. I'm actually quite excited for the gray Yan versus the red one. I think the red Yan is superior. We're about to see. Because Meister has always been, since the beginning of time, he has rocked the gray
Mm-hmm.
Yan outfit. I've always used the red one. So let's see. Maestro taking left, I am taking right. Maestro looked incredible so far. Only 2 flags lost in 2 fights. Maestro left, I'm right. There we go.
There's the back and forth, and already a chop. Nice read there from Venador. Yeah, definitely one of the meta moves, and yeah, Venador made that same mistake that I made. He was in the middle of a sidestep, though I don't think it was like a deliberate counter to the corkscrew or anything, but it's a little counterintuitive, but that's probably the worst thing you can do when the corkscrew's coming out, is to try dashing to the side or sidestepping. But it is a very intuitive thing to try, for sure. And there's a tired swing. Oh, and now Venador's tired. Now they both look like they want to. Oh, Maestro tried to get that stab. Venador, good movement. He can't quite capitalize on the fact Maestro was just tired, though. They've both recovered. This is shaping up to be really intense, but Venador does have that early lead. That's got to give him some confidence, but Maestro sniping the hand. Venador probably trying something there.
That was a nice flag.
Yeah. Also, when you're tired or damaged, your guard isn't always 100%, so sometimes you never know. Maestro, very different style from what we usually see with the meta Yon plays. He's going for these cuts, and it almost paid off there, but he took a hit coming in and then took a second hit just now. Like, he's happy to just go in, deliver some cuts, play a more traditional Saber game. He gets another flag. Definitely a close fight. And I like that about Maestro, and honestly, I kind of wish that's how Jan played. Like, I don't mind that he can stab well, of course. It's just, I prefer just delivering cuts and having exchanges because I'm more of a cutter, and that's why I prefer Barabash, but that's also, like, personal preference.
Nice.
Goes for the cork, but yeah, that's if you can get close enough, the cork is less likely to kill, even if it does hit. So that was actually really smart by Maestro to try closing in. He's delivering a bunch of cuts. We call that combination often the Maestro special, the 2 hits. Venador doing one of his own there to finish Maestro off. Yeah, Maestro just going ham. didn't so much care about defense. Oh, and he whiffs the corkscrew, yeah. And once you whiff like that, that's another situation where the corkscrew is, if it's timed well, it's very, very likely to land. The chop is like that as well, actually, just not as much reach and a bit easier to block that. But if the chop catches you while you're trying to stab or something, it can be much more threatening sometimes. Some feinting there. I like what I'm seeing from Venador. He's trying to provoke some kind of whiff, and yeah, I think his plan was to land a corkscrew. A little rushed there, but I don't blame him because he's literally about to win this if he wins one more flag. So yeah, I don't blame him for wanting to just end this fight because Maestro is a worthy opponent. Thankfully for him, it was a double, and that was a good counter with that cut.
GG, good fight. Good fight. That was really nice. He had some really good plays there. But the red Yan is always going to win against the gray. Yeah, but Meister is going to be just one fight away from fighting again in the final. He'll have to wait for his opponent, and and we're going into the lower bracket now, and all 4 players should be ready for another fight immediately after their fight, because there's going to be another semi-final there, if you want to call it that way. Here we go. So Oak versus Subu now.
Yeah, this is very uncharted territory because he doesn't usually play Bara against my Alexander, so
But
I'm excited.
he looked great there, so you need to be very careful because he looked great in his fights. He won 3 fights already with Barabash in the lower bracket, so he's getting close to that top. He's on the left, you're on the right.
Yeah, and he definitely knows Alexander's moves, and he knows Barabash's moves. He's seen me use both, so yeah, I gotta give it my all. I think when you've played one Saber character and mastered him, to some extent you can play the others well too.
Yeah.
So there's also an element of that.
Yeah. Here we go. It's gonna be pretty interesting. I think both characters have openings against the other. Subu obviously has played Alex so much. I'm not sure how much Oak has played Bara, but he got a little bit of warm up with him, and honestly, he looked great. There's no plus gameplay. Another double. This is one of those matchups where I feel that. Oh, nice one from Subu there. I feel that Alex is stronger overall as a character, but in this particular matchup, they're equal. Oh, nice forward cut there. That's one of Barabash's best weapons against Alexander, which is the forward upcut. Yeah, tries it again, gets blocked. Subu knows that that is coming. Just moving back and forth, and delivers a perfect strike to the head there, 2-2. Pressure there from Subu with some cuts to the head. Very snappy cuts, and then goes for a side step and scores. Well played there from Subu. Oh, goes low and catches Oak there. And 4-2. Now the experience with the character is showing. 2 flags there. 3 flags now. Amazingly played by Subu. Best Alex in community. Oh, perfect timing there from Oak there. Gets one back. Subu tried to end it early there, as he said in my fight. And I get it. The element of surprise can be quite effective. Yesterday, Oak had 3 flags, 3 match flags against Subu. And Subu managed to come back. Will Oak manage to come back this time and eliminate Subu in this tournament? We'll see. And he gets one back with the nice cut to the arm there. Over the arm. Yeah, he's trying it again. Feinting. One thing that I really noticed about Oak in the past, let's say, I don't know, past year. Oh, and again, beautiful cut, 5-5. Was that he improved his feinting game a lot compared to previous years. Goes low. Tight flag and a tight fight. Possibly the candidate of fight of the evening. We have that as well, double. Oh, superficial cut there, landed by Oak, but it could prove an advantage if he lands another one. Oh, and it goes low, and Oak wins it 6-5. Subu hits the rematch button by mistake, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was going for a cut. GG.
Yeah, good fight. It's exactly. I don't know if it had any effect or not. You know, the commentator's curse can be a real thing. I was talking about how yesterday you managed to recover a 3-flag deficit, and he was in the same position today, and he actually managed to recover that deficit and win the fight. Congratulations, you got pretty far, but this type of tournament right now is is pretty ruthless. Best of 1, 6 flags, anything can happen. And Oak moves to the next one, and he will be fighting very soon because we have Chernobyl versus Jihadi. Jihadi is going to use Alexander because he lost his Marina. So he's going to be using Alexander. Winner of this fight is going to face Oak immediately after this one. And then the winner of that fight is going to face Maestro. So we're going to have a lot of fighting right to the end. Did I get people in? Oh, Jihadi's in. Would you mind commenting this one? I need to do something really quick. As soon as Chernobyl.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much. Cherno on the left, Jihadi on the right. Sam versus Alex. Alex can be pretty tough matchup for Sam, I'd say. We'll see how it goes.
Definitely. Okay, good exchange so far. Jihadi looking good with Alex. Goes low with beautiful counter attempt by Chernobyl. That's something I probably should have done a little bit more of, but it's sometimes tough to say. There was a moment where I think I could have gone for the leg with Alex against Oak, but I didn't want to eat a cut to the head, so it's always a risk. Maybe I should have thought about setting it up. Who knows? Good snap cut from Chernobyl. His counters are really sharp so far. And that's what you need against Alex. You can't let Alex get a good angle against you. You can't let him single tempo you. You've got to immediately shut him down before he gets something going against you if you're Samuel. But there's the sidestep, taking the hand off. Classic move there, but Oak was, when I was using it, he was punishing it sometimes. Other times I was getting a snipe. And I like what Oak did with Bara, I have to say. He was playing a very straightforward Saber game. An aggressive one at that, though. He definitely brought some of his Laslo knowledge to that, and it paid off. And that's a double. Jihadi's still very much in this, despite that initial lead. It's not that big of a lead. Good pressure from Chernobyl. Still patient, but he's happy to move forward despite the fact that Alex is typically stronger in these sorts of situations. And there, Jihadi manages to land a nice cut. Snap cut, beautiful. Moves forward, just goes straight for the grab. He knows his opponent's going to do like a sidestep, which will get past his auto guard if he's not careful. So why not just grab him to interrupt it? That was really smart from Chernobyl. And I think that's the first grab we've seen this whole tournament. So hats off to Chernobyl for managing that. At such a competitive level, it's typically pretty difficult to land a grab. There's definitely situations where it's a good idea, but very often you're really gambling if you're going to go for risky moves like that. So good on him for managing that so effortlessly. Beautiful single tempo from Jihadi, striking the blade and then hitting the arm at the same time. So Chernobyl couldn't respond with much of anything there. He overextended. But that snap cut, again, just perfectly placed. And it is 6-3 in favor of Chernobyl. And Chernobyl will be fighting Oak in the next fight, which it'll be interesting. I mean, we saw Oak do really well with Bara in this exact matchup character-wise, so I'm pretty excited to see what he's capable of here.
All right, I am back.
6-3 in favor of Chernobyl.
6-3. Thank you very much, Jihadi. Great performances. And we're about to see a rematch, but now with two different characters. The second characters of their choice. Chernobyl is facing Oak. And the winner of this fight will immediately fight Maestro. And if they win again, they will have to fight me. So a lot of fighting is gonna happen here. So first time they met, it was Laslo versus it was Jan versus Laslo. Chernobyl won with Laslo. In the meantime, they were both in the lower bracket, so now they have to use Sam and Bara. Oak tried to connect. What do you think about this fight?
I'm pretty pumped up for this one. Chernobyl has been showing a really good Samuel, so I think it's going to be a pretty close one if Oak keeps up that aggressive style that he's been using with Bara. Because he did try some side steps when he was fighting me, but I noticed he was trying to really just stick with the fundamentals. So if Oak keeps that up, but then applies that aggression where it's needed, I think we could see a close fight, because I saw precise counters equally from Chernobyl that were just shutting Jihadi down instantly. So I think we're going to see a lot of back and forth between those two sorts of tactics. Chernobyl playing the counter game and Oak trying to apply that pressure, which Bara is best at.
Yeah. What's interesting is that if Oak wins this one, he's gonna face another Sam. Sam. If Cherno wins, it's gonna be a Sam mirror. A lot of Sams in this tournament. The second tournament is actually even more interesting because it has so many different picks from this one.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the only character that was not picked for these two tournaments was Yendrik. He's crying somewhere in the corner.
Yeah.
He wasn't picked.
Just too inconsistent.
Yeah. But everybody else got picked, and most characters actually got picked multiple times. Double. I said it. I think 1 year or 2 years ago. I said it that the Bara is probably one of the most picked second characters in the game, like a backup character, and this tournament actually proves it. A lot of people have picked Barabash for their second option. Oh, nice one. 2 there for Oak. Yeah, Oak is not afraid to get in there. Get the response. Actually, this is the third. Sorry, this is the second Sam that he's facing today. He faced Info.
Mm-hmm.
And had a lot of success.
Yeah, and it was with the style that he's using right now. But Chernobyl is just so good at exactly what we saw there. Just the moment you hit his blade, suddenly there's a snap cut or there's a thrust incoming. So he's really good at just shutting you down with Samuel.
As I said, winner of this fight is facing Maestro, and then immediately we have the grand final or the grand finals of the first one, and then we're moving into the second tournament. Oh, that was a great read there from Oak. Traded to get the kill. Oh, again the thrust. 3-3. Sam's thrust is not amazing, but if timed well, can do some good damage. I remember Ezekiel was quite good at that. Quite good at landing the thrust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Double.
Yeah, brutal. So far, my prediction is coming true. Very even fight so far.
Oh, beautiful.
Although, as I say that, Oak securing that flag,
Yeah,
the two-piece.
Goes traditional with the two-piece combo.
He's using the belly lunge a lot too, and that was actually very effective against me when I was backed in that corner, and he just went straight for it.
You can see the Laslo influence in the way it plays. Oh, and a nice retreat.
Yeah.
6-3. He uses kind of the same style, in and out with some forward cuts to the head. 6-3 there from Oak. Chernobyl. Congratulations, Chernobyl takes the 4th place today. And now we're going to have another very interesting fight between Oak and Maestro. And it's the same matchup, Barabash versus Sam. Oak already has a bit of an experience. This is the first time this evening that Maestro uses Sam. He needs to be careful. Both of them have secured a top 3 spot, so points in the ranking. Congratulations. But I'm pretty sure they're aiming for the final or even the grand prize, which is also $20 and a place in the first sword title fight. Let's get Maestro in here. take some people out here. Eve. Alright, only Sabres left in this tournament. The Sabre will win the tournament. It's going to be either Alex, Jan, Sam, Bara, or Laslo, depending on if Oak manages to get to the second final. Oak takes the left side. Meister takes the right side. A reminder. Yeah, the Redskins. A reminder, so whoever wins this match gets to the grand final, and if they defeat me in the first final, they recover their original character that they played in the winner's bracket, so either Jan or Laslo. So that's also a little bit of an incentive.
Yeah, side steps from Maestro.
Not to mention that the winner of this tournament will receive the ability to use one of the characters. Nice push. Oh, beautiful defense there, and the follow-up. Perfect play from Oak. The winner will receive the ability to use one of the characters in the third tournament as well. So they will have a little bit of a versatility advantage. Forward cut. Oak 2-1. Oh,
Nice from Maestro. High guard.
Nice release. Similar to Isabella's high guard. I'm actually quite surprised that Sam players do not use that move a lot more, because it has a pretty fast release.
And he does have fast moves to sort of back that up with if it misses, like the back Y too.
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Two-piece. I love that move. It has so much range. And it keeps Sam safe when throwing it. Nice.
Oh, the upcut though.
3-3. Beautiful fight so far.
Yeah, when these two engage, somebody's losing a hand or having their head cut in half pretty much instantly. Yeah, Oak just throws these cuts when you think it's not his turn, you know what I mean? And it works.
Yep.
Oh, double.
Yeah, Oak is about to make another Sam victim. Oh, nice. That was low.
Very different. Yeah, Maestro on the back foot. This is where Oak wants him. Going for the sidestep. And then the nicely done.
The pressure. Wow, that was a sensational performance there from Oak. Oak is on fire right now. And congratulations. And Oak, regardless of what's going to happen, he's going to get some points in Saber. Because has used only Saber so far, so he's number 1, number 2. Maestro gets the 3rd place. Congratulations. We're getting straight to the grand final, and I'm going to be on the left. Oak is going to be on the right. Oak will have to use Barabash. I will use Jan. But if he wins, he gets the ability to use Laslo, and I would have to use Alexander. So either way, there are going to be some pretty interesting fights. So Oak has to defeat me twice here in order to win the event. Here we go, grand final. A rough climb here from Oak. He lost the first fight, and then he started right from the first round of the lower bracket. There was only one fight in the first round of the lower bracket, and Oak was in it. Redskin versus Redskin again.
Yeah, let's see what Oak can do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very different opponent this time around because he's fighting Jan. But I think he knows what he needs to do. Oh, yeah. I think I see what he was trying, but unfortunately, sometimes your hand is just exposed to be hit once you do that. You can do it off of a parry, and sometimes if your opponent's a little passive, you can land a nice sweeping hit with that, but the follow-up after is quite delayed if it misses. And he's very good with the upcut too. He's definitely used to throwing those, and that's kind of what I was saying earlier, how he's mastered Laslo. And so picking up Barabash, who's relatively straightforward, I think. You don't even have to worry about like what angle should I throw this thrust at or anything like that. You can just throw some cuts, and they're pretty powerful. They definitely rival Yan in speed, so you can apply a lot of the same tactics you do with Laslo probably to Barabash. And he even has the same belly lunge. It's just the way they hold their saber is quite different. That's the main difference. And I think Laslo moves much faster, footwork-wise, but Barabash can move equally as quick, just in short, explosive bursts. And even his regular movement speed is not that bad. It's pretty average, I would say. And the corkscrew, a little bit of either as a cancel or a stun, but nonetheless, the corkscrew did connect. And Oak moved into it. There's that, yeah, that wraparound is such a good move to just claim space or to switch up the tempo. I don't think Oak expected two of those, so it actually worked really well. And there's the cork. Oak moved into it. Yeah, you gotta... Moving into it's not a bad idea, but you have to make sure you've got your blade ready to block that move, otherwise you can end up just getting sniped like that. And essentially running yourself through the blade, but that was a good beat on the corkscrew. Very difficult to achieve deliberately, but Oak was close, so his instincts told him to just go for some cuts, and that was the right idea. Corkscrew there, good defense from Oak this time. Sometimes backing away is good, but it often depends on how the fight is flowing, whether you've got long guard up and whatnot. It's definitely a very positional game, and there's that sweeping cut from the left, which is actually kind of underrated from Yan, and Venador takes it.
It's a good move. It's kind of similar to what Bada has.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Oak. Great fight. So I win this first event, and I get the opportunity to use one of these characters in the second. I'm not gonna use one of these characters in the second. I can tell you that much. But probably, but we'll use one of them in the first sword final. Thank you very much, everyone. It was a really nice first event. So I got the first place. O gets the second. Meister gets the third. We're gonna start in 5 minutes the second tournament. Let's see if something changed over there. See if we have more or fewer combatants. Yes, I think we have fewer. I think we have only 11 because Lotto left the event. Sorry to see that, but yeah, it is what it is. Right. So, GG's everyone. In 5 minutes, we start the next event. We're gonna do the shuffle and see how it goes. And I think the second one is gonna be a lot more interesting because we have so many different characters that are going to go in. We're gonna have Isabella. We're gonna have Zira. We're gonna have Gedeon fighting. We're gonna have who else? Kalkstein from Oak.